Yo, it's Terrance Richmond. I put the TR and TR leads. I am super excited about this conversation today with two dope artists, two powerful men, two songwriters, two leaders. Yeah, man, I two great minds. I'm super excited about this conversation. And today is with Ryan Peters, none other than I Am the Living, and Teon Gibbs. So you just need to sit back, relax, maybe take some notes because they super smart people too, and dope artists. And so let's get into it. What's happening, fellas?
Yo, what's good?
What's good, man?
Man, he's like, yo, what's good? Teon like, yo, what's going on? Such a great
Thanks
combination.
for the intro, though.
Huh?
That was a good intro. Man.
Right, absolutely.
We should start doing that. I should be like, I put the Teon Gibbs and I Am the Living in Teon Gibbs. And you should say the same thing for the I Am the Living part. That's what we should do at our shows.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So we have UK. We have some. You guys are well traveled. So no wonder you found each other.
Yeah.
How did you guys? You guys just put out a project, the Jungle, right? To 2020. 2021.
It started in 2020. The EP came out 2 weeks ago. Oh, last week.
June 1st.
June 1st.
So crazy.
Yeah, nearly 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Jungle. I was
available on all streaming platforms.
Absolutely, all streaming
Apple,
platforms.
Spotify, YouTube.
It's a dope fusion.
Bandcamp.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything.
And for me, I was thinking about Jungle. It was going to be called Jungle to Jungle.
Jungle to Jungle?
That would just be a collaboration with you two and me.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Jungle to Jungle.
This is the pitch right now. This is
right off the top of the conversation.
This is why we're here.
No, I'm just playing, man. I was just, we all from jungles. When you think, I love the concept. I love what you guys are doing. I love the energy, the fusion. It represents Vancouver. It represents any global mindset.
Yeah.
How'd you guys find each other?
I mean,
you could go first, bro.
You know what I'm gonna say, fam.
Tell me. Tell them.
So look,
What are you gonna say?
Let me put you guys on game here, right? So
Here we go.
I reached out to this guy's manager, and the guy ghosted me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just left me on scene. Fam.
I didn't know this happened, by the way.
So,
I don't know. I didn't know this happened.
I wanted to create content and just support him as an artist. And then I guess that they were just too popping.
Again, I didn't know this happened.
And then
I'm innocent here.
And then like a month later, I got a message saying, "Hey, come to his EP release party." And I was like, "Yo, these guys are gonna curve me, so I'm gonna curve them back."
That's why I didn't see him in the crowd.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
didn't come. I was
offended.
Sometimes I'm petty Gibbs,
Yeah, he was on his
Petty Gibbs.
And then, but where we actually connected is I hit him up directly this time. I didn't hit up his manager.
Nice.
And I was doing a Black History Month showcase at a spot in Vancouver, and I wanted an eclectic group of Black artists to showcase variety and style and talent. And I was like, yo, this guy better come through, and we need him. And he came through. They delivered the goods. It was a great show. And I was in the crowd, like all starstruck, fam. I was like, yo, I was just picturing this guy on the stage right now, you know what I'm saying? He was doing the call response thing with the sweeties in the crowd. Everyone was going crazy for him. He was wearing a crazy leather jacket. And I was like, yo, we got to work, man, because I want that jacket.
Right.
And then, we just connected, though, after that. And I guess that's how it all started.
That's how it was started, man.
And you agree with that?
I agree with some of it though,
right?
Because I didn't know that he got curved. I didn't know this.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree with everything you said, man.
So dope. So being from across the globe with one another, or from one another, or how could I say this? He was here before you got here, but he's been in places you've been.
Yeah.
And where's some similarities? Like, okay, you've lived in the UK a little bit. You're from the UK. Is there any similarities when you guys came together? Was it any like, oh man, I remember that, or I stopped through that spot? Or from where you guys have come from, have you seen where you've come from have birthed some similarities in each other? That's
I just feel like, just just the energy, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that kind of really made working with him easier because, you know, number one, he's a brother, you know what I mean? And there's not many out here in Vancouver, unfortunately. So, you know, we just kind of connected on that sense. And, you know, the fact that he did live in the UK at one point, and him growing up in the UK, and was it Croydon that you lived in?
Yeah.
Which is South London as well. So I think those similarities kind of really allowed us to, you know, work together, and really made it just like easier for us to, you know, collaborate and find the right balance when we were carving out this project.
What about for you?
I think I agree with that. I also think like you know when you're like working with someone and you're like exchanging music and stuff, it's like not many people, you know, can I send like Oxide and Neutrino to, and they like know it, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, oh bro, I've been knowing that, you know, like there's not many people that you like I have that with, because it's like it's a very like it's a short time period where like garage music is like it's like the shit.
It's the shit.
Like
the biggest
you know,
music in
you know what I'm saying? And then like it's kind of cool that we were able to kind of like nerd out on that a little bit.
And you like understanding like the UK slang. And
you know what I'm saying? It's just like things like that that are like it make. I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, it builds a friendship. But it also makes like for good chemistry and like already like, okay, I kind of understand like how I should come on this song based off of like our musical taste, you know. So that's helpful.
That's so dope. Any
headbutts?
Any moments due to differences, whether it's taste, whether it's background, whether it's philosophy, whether it's approach, any hurdles, not big moments, but just anything where you guys is like, oh, I don't agree with that, bro. We gotta work through this one.
You go first.
No, I was gonna say it's hard for me to recall, but yeah, you can go first. While I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think as far as like him and I. I don't think there was really anything that was like I feel really strongly about this and he felt really strongly about this and we like butted heads. I don't really think there was anything like that. I do think as you collaborate with larger teams, you know, there are people that I'm vouching for that put us in sticky situations. And you know, there was people that he would bring in that would also like put us in little sticky situations.
Like,
but at the end of the day, I think we have been really good at like prioritizing like us as like homies. You know what I'm saying? And like the friendship and like the music relationship. I think we've done a good job of prioritizing that. So like, you know, if next man that he brings in says something disrespectful to me, like I don't it's not a reflection of him and I don't take it that way.
Right.
And I'd hope I hope you feel the same way. But
for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that's a great answer, to be honest.
You don't make an EP. You don't keep making music, especially with the vibe of music you guys are making, right? I could see you guys. There's a chemistry there, right? You can't make a project with someone because then that project requires live shows. Well, I mean, some people don't do live shows, but you guys do. And then that requires marketing and sharing. I pay attention to you guys sharing each other's stuff. You guys are posting at the same time. There's thought, there's strategy. You got to get along to a certain extent. You got to get along. What are some areas between the two of you that it's just no compromise? Like, I'm not compromised on this as an individual and as a collaboration.
I think I'd probably say, I don't know if I can speak for him, but like for myself, I think because we are like individual artists in our own right, before we even came together, you know, we have a certain, you know, aesthetic or, you know, a certain way of promoting ourselves. So I think like, you know, we kind of, even though like we would like release or post things at the same time, that was we strategically worked on that. You know what I mean? But like we both know our brands. We both know the people that we're trying to reach. We both know how we want to, you know, promote ourselves as artists and try and make it work collectively. But like, there was no compromise really on like, you know, just the authenticity of us as artists. You know what I'm saying? So like, if Teon wanted to do something his way, like, I'd just be like, yeah, just like do it, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and same for me. You know, like, I'm not gonna pressure him or be like, yo, compromise to make sure you don't post this today. Like, if you're gonna do it, cool. And and the same with me. So, but that's for me.
Yeah, I think having a good like awareness of one another too and one another's brands has always been like, it just kind of plays into that. Like, I would never ask Ryan to do something that I already know inherently like it's just not with his value system as like a man. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'd be like, hey, there's an opportunity, we could do this. I can take this on, and you don't have to associate it with your personal brand. But then we can still, you know, like make a little bread so that we can fund X, Y, and Z. So like, there's just things like that I would never personally, like, I just know like things like that I was just like wouldn't even like approach him with, be like, you need to do this, bro. So nah, that's stupid. So
what's like a standard, a thing as people that was like, I gotta fool with this dude, right? Forget artists, but there's something that you see he stands for. You see he stands for decisions you seen he made, and you like, that's a dope cat. I gotta partner with him because of who he is, not what he does. What's one or two of those things?
I think the way he carries himself, you know. Because I've been following him for like years, and I was like, who is this like mythical creature? Who is this mythical creature that comes in like once every 3 months and makes one Instagram post and it's like super artistic? I was like, yo, this dude on a different brand,
different planet for sure.
But and then after like linking with him and like getting to know him and like catching jokes with him, I realized, I was like, okay, cool, like, you know, like, we actually have a lot more in common than I would have thought. So, yeah,
that's dope.
And just the way Teon carries himself as well, I would say, you know, his work ethic is great. You know, his hustle, his grind, his ambition. You know what I mean? It's inspiring to me, you know what I'm saying? And, just the fact that, like, he's willing to take risks, you know, he doesn't put himself in a box, especially, like, with, like, rappers or hip hop artists, you know, they want to be seen like one way, but like Teon's like, no, like I'm a student and I enjoy music across the board. So I'm if and I like how it's like, if he likes you know, different genres of music or other artists, he's not afraid to work with them. You know what I mean? So that's super dope, man. That's super dope.
I'm always about team. Like, we could do so much more together. You know, even if it's to pick up the individual thing you're doing, man, to step into collaboration for something, the right person, the right idea, the right project. Why Jungle now?
Why Jungle now? You know.
Like, why did we release it now?
Yeah,
like,
why now? What does that have to do with 2021 in the midst of these times? Why Jungle now?
It's a jungle out here, man.
It's definitely a jungle out here.
You know, there's a lot of things that really came from the last year that obviously no one could have planned for, and there's a lot of decisions that I think we made as, I'll speak for myself, I made as an artist to prioritize this project that was essentially just kind of birthed from like just creating, and then it was like, wow, we can create a whole like little world around these songs. And you know, like I think we did a good job of really branding it really strongly and like really rolling it out really well. And you know, just the whole idea of like Botswana is my heritage, South London, concrete jungle, you know, and those worlds meeting. And then, you know, like the vibe is just like very like commercial drive, like the branding of it. Like you know, you'd see someone wearing like those like jungle prints like on commercial drive. And so it felt Vancouver too. And the biggest thing for me was that it was two underrepresented voices from a city making cool music, but also being able to like articulate themselves and speak eloquently in a time where the world is now focused on Black lives or indigenous lives or whatever it might be. You know, having people of color actually be voices in the community, I think was huge. And I don't think there was like a, yo, we need to do it June specifically because, you know what I'm saying, this is going to be like, it was none of that. It was just like, this is what's going on in the world right now. And we're making music. We're making a lot of fun music, but we're going to make sure we have 2 or 3 tracks that are like, yo, there's real substance in those. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's my answer.
No, it's so dope. And you?
Why now? Well, that was a great answer.
Oh,
I don't know if I could top that one, but yeah, because you know this it was birthed from, you know, the world events that happened a year ago. So, you know, we really just loved what we were doing and what we were creating and how it came about, you know, just like organically.
Yeah.
And we just, you know, like we decided to commit to this, and we really enjoy working with each other, and it's been a pleasure. It hasn't been crazy.
Yeah.
So we just was like, yo, let's do it. Let's put it out. Let's put it out into the world and see what happens.
That's dope. So both you guys are mainstays, meaning you guys here, you represent Vancouver, but you're not from here. How are you embodying Vancouver music culture at the same time calling it to another dimension? Right. For me, I come from the States. I come from Cali. I come from Oakland, Bay Area specifically. There's a different dog. There's a different grind. There's a different perspective. And I find in what I do, I'm calling people higher to where you would normally in the church field or whatever, pastors or people, they're passive. They're afraid of people. I'm going to agree. No non-confrontational, right? Less expressive. I come from a place where we like celebrating. We vibrant. I don't mind a confrontational conversation if it's going to lead to unity and some sort of resolve. And so there's the pressure of like, you can either suppress that or you can call people higher based on the fiber that has been cultivated and developed within you due to your journey. How are you finding that to be for you guys as two artists that are representing Vancouver, not from Vancouver, but you're calling the music scene like the jungle represents calling music artists to a higher level, especially hip hop artists, and doing what you do, that collaboration, that just like, you can do this, like think broader. And then before you answer that question, here's one example that I see how you guys are doing it. I don't just look at you two when I see you guys' content. I look at all the excitement of the people that are helping you put that together, the videographers. Like, you're giving them something that they rarely see, and now they're a part of it, which then makes them as eclectic as you are. Because you're giving them content that people that do what they do may not even get. How are you, is that intentional? Are you guys even thinking about like, man, we're actually calling the culture to a higher level?
Is that intentional?
I think we were intentional about like, a lot of people would suggest that, yo, for a project like this, man, like really strongly branded and like work with like one creative director kind of thing. And I think we were like, nah, man, like we want to just work with as many people as possible. And like initially, like I don't think it was like on a deep level of like, you know, like raising the creative bar. You know, I think at the time was more so just like, let's just tap into everybody's networks, you know, and we're tapping into networks to build awareness as to what we're doing. But I think like, I feel like, you know, when you get to the end of the project, especially the last video we did, I personally was like, yo, like we really are like setting a standard or like raising a bar of like creativity and collaboration that, you know, I would hope young artists aspire to, you know, and young creatives just like look at it like, that was dope.
Yeah.
Have to.
And for me, I feel like, you know, not being from here and now calling this place my home, there's just so many talented, creative people in the city, and I just feel like, you know, reaching out to really creative minds and bringing everyone together to you know, raise the bar in Vancouver and for Vancouver is really important, you know what I mean? Because, you know, collaborations are where dreams are born, you know? And it's like, if we all come together, you know, we all have one mind, we all have one goal in mind, and that is to put, you know, good work out into the world that can hopefully inspire other young people that are coming up. So yeah, man, like it wasn't intentional, but at the same time, like, you know, maybe subconsciously, you know, me and Teon were like, yo, man, like let's, as he said, like let's work with different artists and let's just try and create something that can put Vancouver on the map. And Teon's very like, you know, I am as well, but Teon's been here longer than me, so he's very like, yo, we got to represent the city. We got to build up the city. You know what I mean? So, you know, let's try and find people that are here that are doing things. You know, so we can really, you know, push Vancouver.
So dope. Why is it easier to hold the bar than to raise the bar?
You know, why is it easier to hold the bar?
And when I say hold the bar, most artists gonna go with what the sound is.
Yeah. Got you. I you know, I feel like for me anyway, like a lot of artists may just be afraid of taking risks. And of what other people think. And that's a big thing that like makes it easier to hold the bar. You know what I mean? For me personally, and you know, working with Teon, I can see for him as well, you know, we're just not those type of artists. You know, like I've never been that type of artist anyway. Like just growing up, I've always kind of like been interested in different, you know, areas and raising the bar and, you know, making an impact. So yeah,
I think a lot of people, they go into. I think it's just. I think the reason why people go for the holding the bar route, is because they see success in that, or they see a blueprint for you to find success. Whereas, like, ironically though, like as independent artists, like you can make a song that sounds just like Tory Lanez and put it out and get weak numbers, and it's like at that point you got to be like, all right, well, am I like artistically satisfied with what I put out, or am I just trying to recreate someone else's sound or someone else's style? So it's almost like more intuitive for me to be like, bro, I'm gonna just do my thing, because I could do that thing and still flop. So I might as well at least leave this situation and be like, nah, man, we put together a great body of work with great visuals, and I am very proud of it, and no one can tell me that is not dope, because I believe in it so strongly, whether the numbers are crazy or not. It doesn't really matter at that point. So I think that's the perspective that, I mean, I think you get from a bit of trial and error over time, you know, and you know, we've both, it's fair to say, we've both taken some L's in our careers.
For sure, boy.
We've both taken some L's, so it's like, hey, you know what?
Comes
like,
with the game, isn't it, though?
Comes
with
like,
the game.
And the thing with music is just art, and it's just subjective to everyone, and so like, and the reality is, man, people don't think something is dope until it's successful. So it's like, you might as well just do what you want to do.
Exactly.
And just go for it, you know?
That's crazy. And people don't think something is dope until it's successful, which speaks a lot to our society and our culture. That's why we need more bar raisers, because then you know, when you raise that bar, people are also taking risk on trying something new. And so when you got fans, you got like authentic fans, because it's like, I found something new, right? And you mentioned something earlier about collaboration is where dreams are born. What's you guys?
These guys out here spitting.
Right. It's like a minute ago you were saying something about the blueprint. It's like a thought came to my mind. It's like people think the pattern is the blueprint.
Yeah.
Right. And so let me follow this pattern or this style, but that person's style may have been their blueprint, but it's not yours. You know. And so it's really good, man. I'm glad I'm sitting with two authentic artists. What's your dream collaboration?
I think we've been saying Pharrell for a minute.
Right?
That would be like, I think that'd be
that's
crazy.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my dream collaborations.
Yeah.
Like collectively and individually.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Besides the obvious, I just want to hear y'all say it.
I guess I should specifically say the Neptunes, like,
Right.
not just Pharrell. You know, we need Chad.
Yeah, I need Chad.
We need Chad.
Yeah,
yo.
definitely need Chad.
Yeah, I think it's like the combination of him being one of the freshest like men on the planet,
Yeah.
and like having like immortality to him,
Yeah.
and then also like it's just the musical IQ, and like
Yeah.
I think that is really important, in him just being so. Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of amazing producers out there, and every amazing producer will put a bit of a thumbprint on anything that you do. But what I think the difference is if you can take what you think is really already dope and just find a way of enhancing that, you know, I think Pharrell's done that throughout. The Neptunes and Pharrell have done that throughout their career, where it's like, yo, this artist is really dope at X, Y, and Z. How do we like accent that even more? And like, you know what I'm saying? Like you took a boy from a boy band in Justin Timberlake. You're like, yo, what we're gonna do is we're gonna shave your head, and then we're gonna just put you on these songs with these dope guitar samples, and we're gonna get these crazy rappers from Virginia to be on your first single, and it's gonna be a completely new look for you, but it's still gonna be the same guy from NSYNC. Like I think that's like, at that time, like that had literally never been done.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, I see this in you, and if you trust me enough, we can take it to the next level, as opposed to just completely changing the sound.
So, that's fire.
Yeah.
You?
I think for me, just like soaking up and learning from him. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm a student of like my surroundings or people that I admire. And he's definitely one of those, man.
Yeah.
You know, I just feel like I think we'd be able to make great music together.
Yeah.
But just getting advice from him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And really just learning, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's so dope. What's one thing you learned about yourself collaborating with each other?
That I don't know it all, you know?
That's a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
And because I think, you know, as people, we get to a level, you know, that we feel like we kind of like know everything.
Yeah.
Or we just like shouldn't listen to people that maybe at a younger level than you. You know what I mean? And I felt like during this collaboration, you know, I was just able to just learn from Teon. You know what I mean? Like things that I don't know or I'm not aware of. Yeah. You know, and I really feel that that's helped me as I continue on my journey in my music career. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, can I say two things? Is that cool?
Man, you say two.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Say as much as you want, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for more like a personal, like point. Like, I think working with Ryan has really influenced just my idea of just like wellness in general. You know.
Yeah.
I don't like. If any of you are watching this at home and you're like familiar with me, like I've lost like 50 pounds in like the last year and a half.
Yeah.
And a large part of that is just like learning, taking advice.
Yeah.
Not like, you know, like, and I was already like on a pathway to like, you know, losing weight and getting healthier.
Yeah.
And it's just like being able to have great conversations with Ryan really helped me in that journey. So on a personal level, like that's like definitely huge. I guess on like a business kind of level, like I think people really don't realize is like we are independent artists, and we really had to grind and put things together, but we also found help.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I'd say big ups to the Tiny Kingdom family, because they really supported us throughout the process.
Yeah.
And for me, it really like opened my eyes to, like, okay, like going forward, I do need a bit more support than just me trapping in my, little home studio and like saving up a couple bucks to put something out. Like it just like really opened my eyes to like, whoa, okay, like not to say that the music I was doing before wasn't dope or he was doing before wasn't dope, but I think the reason why it's getting so much awareness is because we built a proper team, and it's like getting people who are just good at what they do to actually just work at what they do, and allowing you to just be more of an artist.
That's dope. Wild question, like a super wild question. Something happens to where you guys, you guys give each other daps, you go your way today, you go your way today, and something happens in the world to where like y'all can't ever see each other again. Don't talk to each other, never see each other again. So this is like one of the last moments that you guys, and there ain't even no internet for y'all to talk to each other and be like, bruh, where you at? Cool, I'm glad you alive.
Yeah.
I'm over. What is one thing you would take away from your relationship that you know will help you wherever you go? That you've learned from each other?
That's a serious question. This guy just came with a whole life philosophy, and he's like, okay, and now you gotta answer it. This guy hit us with the timer as well, too. He looked at his watch like, yo, hurry it up.
Something that I've taken away from this guy.
Something you take away from personally, or just your collaboration? Because obviously there's some things, those inner messages that come, you working with him, he in the booth and something hit you like, dang, you need to chill out more. Man, you need to trust people more. Man, I'm gonna collaborate with more people after this, or whatever. Just any life thing you take away.
I think, like we said earlier, like we both taken some L's in our career, and I have a little bit of like jadedness to me, and some cynicism, and from what I know of his story, he's taking some pretty big L's too.
Yeah.
And so much so that like seeing where he's at now, as far as like the way he handles himself as an artist, and he goes into situations, I learned a lot about that, and being like, okay, like I can have a little bit more grace for myself and also other people, a little bit more positivity towards other people, and don't think that everybody's out here to like they're just out here to win off of you. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's really like a healthy perspective to have as a human being. Yeah. And I already have a pretty small circle, so it's like there's really no reason for me to like have so many walls up towards other people, because it's like, I'm pretty selective with who I allow in the first place. So it's like I might as well go into situations with optimism at that point.
Yeah. And for you?
For me, I'd probably say just listening more, because Teon's a very good listener. So I would definitely take that away.
Yeah.
And this is something that I've definitely like observed and learned from Teon. Is just to try and listen more.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, like I'm completely different to Teon, where he's like a lot more competitive, and you know what I mean, like you don't like to lose. You know what I'm saying?
I hate losing.
He hates losing. You know what I mean? And I hate losing too.
Absolutely.
But there's just different levels of competitiveness, and but I would take that away as well. I think it's like it's not bad to be competitive, man.
No,
like,
of course.
You know what I mean? Like, and for me, like like I've definitely seen, being around Teon, I think it's worked in my favor where it's like, hey, it's good to be competitive, man. Like, I do want to win. You know what I'm saying? Like, and, you know, I don't like losing. Even when I play card games with my, you know, like, I hate losing in card games. So I need to take that into my career as well, where I do want to continue, you know, winning and growing and becoming successful.
Yeah,
I think that's hip hop, man.
I was gonna say that. I was like,
it's different. Yeah, it's
hip-hop.
Yeah, it's very hip hop.
Like,
it's not really like R&B or singerish.
Yeah,
but it's good. It's good. It's
Right.
good to take that away from the hip hop culture, where it's like,
yeah. No, that's super dope. That's super. I think it's important to even just in the moment that question came up, and it's just like collaborations are great. But there is this truth that of course we're going to talk to each other, but it's like, if you walk away from a collaboration not growing, was it a collaboration?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's so true, man.
So it's just like,
something's got to grow, you know?
Yeah.
It's not that mental. It's got to be that bank account.
Some going to grow or some going to die in a collaboration, either way. But it's just like,
it's bigger than just the music, right?
It should be. Or what is a collaboration? What are you collaborating for? Obviously, in the industry, there's a lot of collaborations for money's sake. You don't even see the person who you collaborating with. It's just like, send us this verse. But I think on an independent level, I think that's the beauty, because you get to build relationship. You have to build relationship with the people you collaborate with. I'm gonna take one more left, and then we're gonna ask a couple more questions at the end. For those that's watching, know that one of the things that I do, I'm a pastor of a church, and grew up a Christian kid, and people are gonna watch this podcast. They're going to watch the individual podcast. They're going to hear a few swear words, and, you know, religious folks going to be like, oh, Pastor Terrance, I didn't know you do shows like the movies they watch don't have cuss words on it. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, but again, that's the religious mindset. And I thank God the community that we are building at Love Quest is purged of and being purged of that mindset. Right. But I waited to ask you guys this question together because I think it's important. I want to hear from you guys, because here I am, a pastor, but I'm sitting with two guys who are immersed in the culture. And it's not typical you find the church, specifically pastors, that are immersed in the culture. You're finding it a little more lately. But I think it's, for one, it's divine order from God that is raising up people who are part of culture, because we've heard a lot of people as a church. We've seen the latest 215 with the indigenous people. We've seen we just ostracize people, and you look like that, you're a part of that, there's no place for you. What does the culture need? What does the church need to hear from the culture to learn? How can we better walk alongside of culture, whether people choose our specific religion or not? Where have we failed? How can we, if there's going to be a relationship? See, because what we represent right now is we representing a relationship between the church and culture, right? I don't think the church is doing its job without being involved in culture. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm not called here to just be having church with you. Like, we're in the business of support groups. We're in the business of helping people be healthy. And we're not here to even make people choose our beliefs. I think out of our love, there's something that turns people towards godliness, period. And then God is in charge of really dealing with people's hearts. That's not my job, right? And I think we try to deal with people changing first versus loving them. And, you know, I just have this heart of repentance towards culture, whether it's the gay community, whether how we shun people and hurt people. It's just like, I ain't doing church that way. There's no compromise. At the same time, it's just like, what do you have to tell this audience of people that's going to be watching? You got people watching. I got people watching. How can we do better as a people merging religion and culture?
You know, I guess a really good, like, analogy of that is like, trying to teach my dad how to use Instagram.
Right.
Know? Or it's just like he didn't really use Facebook in the first place. And as culture progressed, it kind of went from Facebook to like Instagram. And now trying to teach him how to use that is like a different language to him.
Yeah.
And I mean, we don't even want to get started with like TikTok.
Right.
We don't even want to get started on that. But I think that analogy in itself is like you kind of need to, shoot, man, it's tough because I don't want to say like change your views, but it's not changing your views. It's just like you have to adapt to the times that you're in, and you have to realize that, especially with human rights, there's a lot of things that there's a lot of opportunity, I think, for the church to like be champions when it comes to like social issues, as opposed to shying away from the tougher conversations. And I think as like a local church, I can see why that would be tough, because there's obviously other local churches that have their opinions on your stance on it, but you gotta be fearless, you know. You gotta be fearless. You gotta be brave, and you know, I really think that you have to be able to adapt, and you have to have a forward-thinking mindset. I remember when Nelson Mandela got released from prison, he actually invited his prison guard from Robben Island to come to his inauguration. And it's just like, to me, that's like a really beautiful symbol. I mean, it could have been petty for all I know. It could have been really petty. It could have been, but the way I'm gonna take it is, it could be like a beautiful symbol of like, no, we can't have so much division. You know, we can't. There's things that man probably said to him that hurt him. Probably did to him, or maybe they were mad cool, you know. But there's just the situation was like, this is what it's got to be. And it's like you kind of need to be able to have that forward-thinking mentality to really be a part of culture and push culture forward. And if you want to even have a say in how the direction of culture, like, you need to be in it, you know. So that's kind of where my head's
Absolutely. That's super good. What about for you?
So do you mean like as in bridging the gap between culture and church, basically?
Yeah, it's like bridging the gap, but it's like, how can we come alongside of culture? Right? Like be another alternative in culture versus trying to make our way the way. Right? Because that's just a fight. It's just like, it's almost like one or the other. It's like, come over here. And then we could talk. Versus like, nah, I'm in this world. I love culture. I love hip hop. I love R&B music. Like the way I'm raising my kids. My daughter love E40. Pastor's kid. I shared her a post with E40 the other day. I'm not gonna be like, girl, unfollow it or I'm taking your phone. Right? And so what happens is that's your typical PK, because you're trying to keep them away from culture. And it's like, no, how do I walk alongside of my daughter who love God and love culture? And there's nothing wrong with that. Right? But in the bigger spectrum, the local church, the universal church, we're in this culture. Like, culture is beautiful.
I just think it's all about adapting and accepting that, you know, like, this is the life that we live. And, you know, like, you know, as much as, you know, certain churches try to continue to do it the old school way, it just doesn't work. I don't think it's ever worked, to be honest, in my opinion.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I think, like, obviously, just having compassion for people that are out there in the culture and bringing your support system, you know what I mean, and uplifting people, you know, not trying to, you know, persuade or, you know, bombard people with a belief, because that can really, like, turn people off. But just, like, lead by example. You know what I mean? And I think, as you said, you know, your daughter listens to E40, but she still loves God. That's leading by example. And I think other churches or pastors need to just start doing that, and understand that this is the life, this is the world that we live in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people just have to accept that.
Yeah.
And I think like the more that you continue to turn people away from, or to have that separation from like church, and you can't do this because you're a believer, you shouldn't be able to do this, it's just going to turn people off.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
There's a balance, man. There's a good balance.
It is. And I love how you said, bring your support system too. And our support system isn't necessarily our savior. Right? When I say that, I want to be very careful. Ultimately, it is my savior where I get my strength, but how we support someone who is not of the same, our support system is love.
Exactly.
Our support system is not Jesus, although that type of love comes from, but I don't have to push Jesus on you to give you the love of Jesus, right? And I think you can look at my running playlist, my exercise playlist.
Ratchet.
I'm J. Cole. I'm Rick Ross. I'm like
that's being honest though.
Absolutely,
like, you're being honest and true.
And that's the key I'm pointing out is we need actually more honesty.
Christians. Yeah, exactly. Because I feel like there's probably plenty other pastors that have the same type of list.
Or something worse, some metal, right?
But they're just not honest about it because they're trying to keep up a facade, right?
You got to, I'm pastor, so it's right. They'll shun you, but then they drinking, right? I had a pastor that was, and if you're watching, it's all good. I'm not telling them who you are, but it was like, let's go for a meeting. He was like, man, I want to meet somewhere on a patio with views and beers, right? I don't drink, like, no more. I used to get toe up, but I don't, because I'm in a position where, like, I'm trying to be that light for someone, but pastors, they be getting drunk, right? But at the same time, there's these standards that they put on the world to not. It's like, man, we've confused more people than we've actually helped people, and I think it's important for people to. I said this Sunday, the other day. There's some dope. We're in Pride Month, right? And I'm like, where's the conversation in the church about Pride Month? Because the Bible we stand on, the rainbow, it represents the promise that God is always with us, right? And there's a group of people that has taken the rainbow and it's their flag. So why aren't we even talking about or redeeming that rainbow in people's eyes? Okay, cool. That's what it means for you. But man, let's take this opportunity to talk about the love of God and the promise to humanity that he's with us as well. And there's these dope Converse out right now for Pride Month, high tops with this dope rainbow from the top down to the bottom. And as you know, the rainbow, they've added the brown and black to it, which is now, the injustice is like you're being mistreated like we are as, colored people. And I was like, as a pastor, I'm looking for my size. And I was going to stun on the church and wear them on Sunday.
Yeah, you should, man.
And I'm like, but y'all going to look at me like, forget the rainbow. These are just dope kicks.
Yeah.
But I was going to put John's 3:16 on there, like, and wherever I go, walking down the street, because there are gay believers.
100%.
But the church will tell you you can't be gay and saved.
Yeah.
And I did a great conversation on it. And I'm like, we got this backwards. We ask you to change who you believe you are before you receive the one that's going to help you find who you are. So when you having that conversation, you can hear the breath coming out the room, because we like, no, you can't put those two together. But I'm like, nah, I know some people in love with Jesus that's gay.
Yeah.
And for us to sit there and make them think that they can't have both, that's a conversation we should have. And I think, like you said, one of you said earlier, is we can be champion culture and having some conversation and actually bringing some peace in people's souls, but we're afraid of conversations like that. And afraid of these collaborations. And so I want to do more of these things.
I think a lot of people are afraid of, like, even internal conflict within their own community.
Yeah.
I think, but I think it's that, I feel like that's literally what Jesus did, was he shook up the religious community.
Shook it up.
And the point where they're like, no, we can't have this.
Yeah.
Right? That's literally like how he died. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, when you think about it that way, like, I think the church and like Christians, like, there has to be some kind of like realness and honesty, and also an integrity that you need to have when it's like, who am I really to judge someone's lifestyle when, you know, on the weekends I'm smashing shorties and then, you know, I'm at the club drinking and like, you know, I just got divorced, and there's all these things that are, from a legalistic point of view, like, quote unquote wrong.
Absolutely.
So it's like, you gotta literally just be more accepting and more open.
Yeah. So good. As we come to a close, couple things. What do you hope people get from listening to Jungle? What do you hope people take away?
Yo, that I Am the Living's a Juno-nominated quality singer that ain't no one on his level out here, fam. Like, that's what I'm saying, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this, you know, like, we've been all cool and like having proper conversation, but I'm gonna gas my guy up here, man. This guy out here singing.
Gas man.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
like,
Juno nominated.
We saw the versatility on this project, man. We saw him like, some of these songs are meant to be played in clubs, and then you can have a really emotional song like Where Do We Go From Here?
Yeah.
And then you can have a song with a lot of restraint like Fall, and it's just like, yo, you're not seeing that kind of versatility. And I just think, you know, be inspired by that, man. Be inspired to be like, yo, I don't have to, you know, do anything one certain way, man. I can just, you know, do whatever I want, be who I want to be, and have a good time. That's really what I think you'll leave the project with. Like, yo, it's a great, 25 minutes, however long it is.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. He said it all, man.
So what if people had one song to go listen to right now off of that project, if they were like, I'm gonna listen to one song to determine if I'm gonna listen to the rest of the project, what's one song?
We're talking song or we're talking video?
Song.
What song?
You know, the videos, you know, the videos are they're different.
The videos are fire for sure.
Now, for me, I'd say, where do we go from here? Yeah. Just because, like, you know, Teon's verse is amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's talking some real stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like if you hear that, after hearing that, you're gonna wanna be like, oh, okay, like I wanna hear some more. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's I'd say, where do you go from here?
Yeah.
Where do we go from here?
I'd say distance. I feel like we just took a risk with that one. Like
right.
You know, like we did something that, well, there was like the article said it was like, this is an extremely underexplored sound. Yeah. You know, and it's like, it was cool that they noticed that, you know, and it was really, really, so I'd say check out Distance. I think the writing on that is really strong. I think the vibe is really cool. And my verse is kind of fire on it. But I think that's a really good, like, those two songs are probably like my favorite showcasings from the project.
Distance, Where Do We Go From Here? Where do you
think, Terrance?
Distance was good for me.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to the whole thing, but I've been tracking what you guys have been putting. Like, you guys have been very consistent in putting out a lot of work. But it kind of I don't know, man. There's like this fusion. Like, it's weird. I hear some like not Boys to Men, but like why am I forgetting? New Edition, like some of that vibe that makes you want to dance. And then I just hear like this playful, I love rap in that vibe, right? Mm-hmm. Because you can try to come hardcore, but you gotta have a tender side to you. You gotta have a flirtatious side. Mm-hmm. So I love I want to say the finesse that you have, but I also love the slickness when it comes to the hip hop that you come in. It's like this beautiful marriage, and it's like, I get it. Like, the ladies, I mean, I know a part of you do it for the lady. You do it for the culture, but you do it for the lady. You don't do no project like this
for the sweeties.
for the fellas like you, for sure. So so I'm like, man, you gotta be, you gotta protect yourself after this album. You gotta put, I'm gonna say, you gotta put a condom on this album.
That's a joke.
Absolutely.
I
Did the pastor just say you gotta put a condom on the album? Absolutely, you do.
Did.
It's pretty. And it's substance, but it's so, you can get so caught up in the vibe that you might even miss the message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which to me is great.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting because like the entire project, I'd say there's 6 songs on the project. 4 of them are just relationship based. 5 of them are.
Yeah.
And the last song is like, it's almost like the response to all the other songs.
Dope.
Where it's like all these other songs are like, going out, having a good time, meeting someone, flirting.
Exactly.
And it's like, then the last song on the project is like this is like the downside of that lifestyle at the same time of like, you can actually hurt people who actually care about you.
So good.
So, it's
so good.
Man, just go listen to that project, man. It's fire. From top to bottom. I was actually riding yesterday and I was listening to it. And I was telling Teon, man, I was just riding, just vibing. And I was like, yo, this project slaps, boy, from track 1 to 6.
From top to bottom.
Yeah.
So is there another project coming after? Is there more collaborations, or are you guys just about to focus on pushing this one?
So I mean, I think obviously we got to see this one through and like tour it and play as many shows as we can from it. But I think there's something missing in current music culture, and it's like something that I think we all had growing up, where it was like the weight.
Yeah.
And it was like, I really like that project, and I really can't wait for him to put out his next album. And very few artists these days, like you got your like Kendricks that you can wait for 4 years, or your Rihannas, or your like
they can do that.
You're
they
really
can,
like, I need this.
they can afford to do that.
And I think to like a degree, like obviously we're both gonna be active, but I think I would personally would love there to be like a want for there to be, like, yo man, like Teon, like I liked your new single, I like your new project, but like, yo, when is that jungle coming? Like we need that. We need that new jungle.
That jungle to jungle.
So we're yo, it could be a vibe. But
slip to you. I like that.
I think we're gonna keep working on songs. Because,
so good, man.
it's fun.
You have to.
It's a vibe.
You have to.
And then we'll when the time's appropriate.
Man.
Yeah. So dope.
Yeah.
You guys, I think there's a wave to catch there. Even if you're just doing it for the culture, right? I know you do it because you love it, but there's an example to be set, right? And sometime we'll put out something that's dope, and then we'll walk away from it, and that never happens again. Instead of standing in people's face like, no, this is not just a vibe, it's a thing. Like this is a thing. And y'all need to catch this. I'll close with this. How important is excellence in your art?
Excellence, for me is extremely important. I try to put stuff out. I'm a perfectionist though. Like I don't think, like looking back, I'm like, oh, I wish I could change that. I wish I could change this. But I think that's just art though, right? But for me, excellence is important, man. It's top of the list for me, and quality over quantity. I really try to put stuff out that is of excellence. And if it's not, then I'm not. I'm cool with not putting it out. If I've spent money on it or not, and it just doesn't live up to that excellence, then I'll be like, you know what, I'm just gonna have to hold back and start from the drawing board again. But for me personally, it's up there. It's number one.
Man, I think at the end of the day, like this is what it's all about, like you're trying to set yourself apart. I love that Cole record and he has that little like interlude where he starts talking,
Yeah.
and he's like, sometimes, like, you just gotta let people know that you do this, man. Like, you
Yeah,
really
yeah.
do
Yeah.
this, and that's basically like the mentality you kind of have to
Yeah,
have. It's just like,
exactly.
I don't want to play down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
I don't want to play down. I would rather like continue to play up. And yeah, that might mean that my one verse took me 6 hours to write, as opposed to, a 20-minute little freestyle verse that I can bang out. But then I'm extremely proud of it.
Yeah.
And I know that it's me putting my best foot forward, and yeah, it's just the reality of it. Like, there's people asking me for features, and I'm like, yeah, I got you. And then it'll be like 4 months later, I'm like, nah, I need to be inspired to write that. And
Right.
it could be like an organizational thing that I can get better with, but at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's like, I want to make sure that whatever I'm putting out is dope.
Yeah.
And I feel like as well, like for this project, like we put out excellence, man.
Yeah.
I truly believe
Absolutely.
so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like moving forward, whether that's my solo project or his solo project or us coming together again in the near future, it has to be of excellence
Yeah.
and, even greater.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
standard we set for ourselves.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the difference between collaboration and features?
I think it's your level of investment.
Yeah.
I think it's your level of like understanding of the song or the project. You know what I'm saying? And I would say more so. Actually, I don't know if that's true. But I would say it with a lot of rap verses, it's really easy for me to just be like, all right, let me just hear this guy's verse. Okay, I'm gonna kill him, and then just be like, write the verse, put it out, and not really like think about like making a good song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I guess if someone asks you to sing a hook, you can be really detached from that song entirely, but be like, yo, I'm gonna kill the hook and get a bag.
Yeah.
As opposed to really being invested in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I have to agree, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you can tell when someone's invested and they have love for it. That's a collaboration.
Yeah.
A feature's just, I'm just gonna jump on this.
Yeah.
Mailed
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and you can tell from, the performance on the record,
Yeah.
or, even down to them pushing the record as much as you, you can tell like whether they've like really invested in collaborating or just doing it just because.
Yeah. Look in that camera and tell the audience, across the board, whether it's music, whether it is being the CEO of a company, two apiece, vital reasons why. Two vital reasons why you need to collaborate to grow. And two things that can help you develop your craft. So two things why you must collaborate. Like you just must, as a key to growing as an artist. And two things that you could just do individually, whether that's reading, whatever it is, to develop your craft. Because we didn't get to that conversation. I'm sure you guys watch other artists. You sit in the mirror and do reps, whatever it is that you do to develop your craft individually.
For you to develop your skills, let me look in the camera. There we go. Yeah. to develop your skills, to develop your talent, you have to collaborate. It's very, very important if you want to see your career continue to grow, and if you want to see yourself get to, the level that you feel like you are able to reach. Collaboration is super important because you just learn so much from the people that you're around.
Yeah.
You soak up. Subconsciously, you might not even know it. You know what I mean? You're just in the room. You're surrounded by good energy. Hopefully, it's good energy. Yeah. If it's bad energy, leave.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I just feel like it's really important for you to develop your talent and your skills.
Yeah.
And so.
And then the other question, well, you could just do one. It's just one question, one thing that a person can do individually to develop their craft.
Oh yeah, okay, that's a good one. Individually, to be open to collaboration. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, you know, an introverted, like a introvert, is that the right word?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, which I get, but you have to really kind of, you know, I've said this before, but just be open to taking risks and be open to meeting other people and collaborating with people. I think, yeah, simple.
I think,
Let's get in position.
Yeah, getting ready. Two things two reasons why you must collaborate. I'm not going to speak at a very high level. I'm going to speak at a very low level. You know, it's just simple demographics at the end of the day. I Am the Living has an entire network of people. And I'm not just talking about like Instagram followers.
Yep.
I'm talking people who are actually invested in him, whether that be his career, his business, brand partnerships, that kind of stuff, like whatever that may be. All of a sudden they know who I am, and that extends to me to some degree, and vice versa. So it's just like simple demographics as to why, as an independent artist especially, or is like a young entrepreneur or whatever you're doing in your life, you need to be working with other people outside of your core network. And the thing is, a year and a half ago, we didn't even like know each other really.
Right.
And now, you know what I'm saying? Like, I
talk to me every day.
Yeah, I know Chin and Jetty because of him, and now Chin and Jetty is like working on my project. You know what I'm saying? Just like you think about that, it's like, wow, like the gravity of that is amazing. Yeah. And then as far as like why else you should like collaborate, why you must collaborate, man, if you're like me, you're competitive, man, so that's how you're gonna get better. You play basketball. If you play basketball people who are, trash, then you're not gonna get better. You're gonna play basketball with someone who's better than you and be like, dang, that guy was busting me today on the court, and all of a sudden you're gonna want to sharpen your tool set. And something that you can do individually when you're at home to just get better is turn down the ego a little bit. You know what I'm saying? If I don't say this with like to be mean or anything, but I think if you're a singer, go take singing lessons. Like, you can still get better. Your breathing can get better. There's things that you can do that can help you improve your range, your control, everything about your actual talent that you can do. And if you're a rapper, actually study the game, bro. Study like it. Even if you don't like the music per se, like there's rappers that you can't deny like the incredible rhyme schemes and like rhyme patterns, and it's like that may not be the sound right now, but like there's skills that you can learn from that you can apply to what you're trying to make yourself. So I just think lessen your ego. You don't know everything. You're not the dopest. There's always gonna be someone a little bit doper than you. That's just being real. But it's like you can get better and be the best version of you. And I know that's like some like high school coach thing, but it's just true. It's true.
That's true, bro.
That's dope. That's dope. Teon Gibbs, I Am the Living. Also Ryan Peters. Dope because they're humble, dope because they're knowledgeable, and dope because they're not afraid to collaborate. You need to go get The Jungle right now and stream it, but don't just stream it, buy it. Support these brothers, look for them. They will shift the music scene. And so be a fan now, all right? And look out for wherever they're going to be when these doors open, because you also want to catch them live. The energy is crazy. We're going to always bring the love to you. We're going to always bring the game to you. We're going to always bring inspiration to you. This is TR Leads, where we empower, activate, and equip. Out of time, not out of content. Until next time, you know what it is. Get your love fix, man.
Bars. Peace.